and we'll record it now. Welcome back to the 52 Weeks to Wealth. My name is Walter Morello, the real estate mentor, and I'm here to share Wealth Principle 16 with you. Now, Wealth Principle 16 is develop a fixity of purpose. And the reason it's important is because most people wake up tired every day. They wake up unmotivated, or they've been through depression, anxiety. They've considered that maybe their life didn't have meaning, and people wonder why they're not rich. It's because they don't have a reason that gets them rich, a big enough reason, a big enough why. Who here has heard of the book Start With Why by Simon Sinek? Who's heard the book before? Excellent. So in that book, he talks about having a why. A why, when I use quotation marks, is a purpose, having a thing that you could share with others that they would get on board with. A why is very much a marketing message. It's very important if you're selling something that they understand why it's important for them. Hence, can't recognize that's true. You know why you buy things. Yes. Excellent. Now, fixity, there's two words in this. There's three words. We'll start with develop, right? The word develop a fixity of your purpose. Develop means it doesn't already exist, right? To develop something means that you're going to create something new, or you're going to build onto something that already pre-existed. The fixity side of it is non-moving, like just it's not going anywhere, right? It's finally locked in place. Has anybody ever felt like maybe their purpose changed? Has anybody ever felt like over time your purpose changed and adjusted? Most people, and maybe you can relate to this, most people have heard the story of well, I don't want to use that one. Let me go with a nicer one. There's a president that we all like, has a beard similar to mine, maybe a little longer. He had a little more hair. 16th president, 16th wealth principle. Let's roll with that. So Abraham Lincoln had a lot of adversity growing up. He had a lot of things that he was not good at. His family, by the way, making money was one of them. He was not good at making money. His family was not good at making money. And so he didn't have any money. He didn't have a formal education. He didn't have any of the advantages that you in most countries do have, where you can go to school and they teach you how to read. They teach you how to operate in the world, and they're supposed to teach you how to make money, which, hands to the camera, if you know, school system's broken. It doesn't teach you how to make money anymore. That was its job initially. It was prepare you to go make money. So Abraham Lincoln didn't even have that. He didn't even have a broken school system because his family couldn't afford to send him to school. And through his childhood, he in some way recognized that like he would have to do whatever he had to do himself in order to get to the next level. And if you've watched Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer, this is not necessarily the truest of stories. Anybody watch that movie? Yes. My historians? No. Phenomenal, fun movie. Kind of goes through a little bit of his development, touches on the truth just that much. But the cool part about Abraham Lincoln's story, and by the way, mostly unnotable until he decides he's going to start doing great things. He made a decision. He locked in a purpose and changed it over time, but he just dialed in a little bit more. He developed further, deeper into what he was doing. But he was going through this kind of political challenge where he had an opponent. I can't remember the name of the opponent, but he wrote a pretty scathing letter, and that scathing letter ended up becoming public, and he was challenged to a duel. And in that duel, by the way, a duel is to the death. Hands to the camera if you don't ever want to be challenged to a duel to the death. Excellent. So he was challenged. He ended up declining and not showing up, and which is not good for your pride. But he taught him a very important lesson. If you ever veer from what you're really supposed to be doing, because that was his pride that caused him to write that way. It was his lack of clarity on where he wanted to go that caused him to go and start a fight with somebody who was like meaningless to his cause. So he made a commitment to always focus on what he wants to accomplish. And with people, if you don't have anything that can, like if you don't have if that you need them to move forward, then you have to find a common ground, right? Like if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. But even better is always seek a way to find common ground with a person. Uh, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Napoleon Hill's book. Who's read this one? How to Win Friends and Influence People? It's Dale Carnegie, not Napoleon Hill. So Dale Carnegie's book, he shares the principle of taking on your friends, taking on your enemies, turning them into your friends kills your enemy. Who's done this in their life has actually implemented this principle, taken on the challenges of an enemy, served them, and turned them into a friend. You can't do those things. All of the principles that you've heard in How to Win Friends and Influence People, all the principles you've heard in sales, you can't do it if you don't know why you're doing it, if you don't know how important it is, if you don't have a fixity of purpose. Something like Abraham Lincoln discovered, which was to help other people. He really did want to help his nation. And as he continued with that desire and drive to make things right, to make things better, it led to, well, the only way to do that is become the president. It wasn't how he started. It wasn't his initial goal. It was just make the nation a little better. And then it was maybe provide a little bit more freedom. And then over time, it was provide freedom for everybody. And then other classes, let's free the slaves. Hands to the camera, if you recognize over time, he developed a deeper detail around his fixity of purpose. Excellent. So the other challenge to not having it is depression. Does anybody remember a day where you woke up and you didn't want to do anything? Anybody ever have one of those days? Am I the only one who's occasionally experienced that? Okay. Depression is a countrywide, worldwide, everybody at some point on the planet who has woken up more than once has had a depressed day. If you have even seen children, has anybody ever seen a child depressed, sad, feeling upset, lonely, insecure, not sure, what they're supposed to be doing, bored? Boredom is another sign of not having a purpose. These challenges are solvable through simply making a decision. Now, a lot of people have told me I was born to do this. Has anybody heard somebody tell them they were born to do something? This is what they were born to do. Yes. And maybe you've been one of those. It's okay. Nobody's born knowing what their purpose is. Hands if that's been true for you. You weren't born with like something tattooed on your wrist that said, you will be. I wasn't born with real estate mentor on my wrist. I added that, right? I added the bracelets later on, the wristbands of power. This is a conundrum because you've got these influencers saying, I was born to do this. I was born to act. I was born to lead. I was born to sell. I was born to have this company. I was born to be investing. I was born to invest. I was born to change the world. Bullshit. You were born with the capacity for a purpose. You were born with a desire, a burning desire for a purpose, for meaning, to be important to the tribe, to be able to impact the people in your society, in your community, so that they will keep you alive, protect you, and maybe even give you things that you want. Hands to the camera if you understand, we came from tribal instincts. This is something embedded into us deep from our beginning. Does that make sense? We grasp this is not, it's not new. It is maybe even not religious. This could be, it doesn't have to be spiritual for you to find your purpose. It can be 100% tactical. You can 100% look at what in the world is missing and what am I willing to commit to solving. Think back to the tribes. Let's say we had a tribe. I'm here in Utah this week, hanging out with 3 of my good friends, and we are a tribe this weekend. And we did a mountain climb yesterday. We went up this mountain called something Y, the Y University. And the mountain was big, but it was bigger than I thought. And as we got closer to it, it got bigger. And as we started going up the trail, this may be like some of your goals. As we started going up to the trail, the peak started looking further away. Even though I was getting closer to the peak, it started looking further away. And something very interesting that may happen with your goals and your experiences, you're developing your fixity of purpose and your business and your income. And you're seeking, by the way, hands camera who wants to make more money this year and do less work. So passive income is the goal, not just ordinary income, not working. Those are nice, but the nice benefits, but we want passive income. So as you're getting closer to the mountain, which is your passive income, you may start noticing some of the details of how you're going to get up there. You may also start noticing the base is wider. So it can be a longer walk as you're going up the mountain at the base. It's a much longer walk, but the incline's a little less steep. And so as we got to level 1, I was recognizing that I am a little bit out of shape. I have never done a mountain of this size. And if I have been on any kind of hike, it's been at least 4 years, so a little bit out of practice. So as you're going through your passive income journey, if you've never built passive income, you may find that just that first step, which wealth principle 1 is think a million, could create some fatigue. Just that first level. And then remember, wealth principle 2 is choose a business that makes $1 million. Choose. That means decide. It means commit. It means one thing. Who here has ever struggled with doing just one thing in their life? Has anybody ever had commitment issues? Yes. Anybody still have commitment issues? All right. All right. Let's give everybody a round of applause for volunteering that information. Awesome. That could be why your life is the way it is and you don't have the results that you've been seeking. So level 2 is commit. And as you go a little bit further up the mountain, we started to recognize some pain, the body, my body. Maybe everybody else is doing better than me. They are actually far more physically fit than I am. My heart started pounding. Level 3, my lungs started hurting. There are only 13 levels before you get midway to the mountain. 13 levels get you midway so that you can get to the why that is imprinted onto the mountain. The rest of the mountain is little billy goat trails, just little paths walking through. You may find successes like this in your passive income journey. As we were going up, I remember thinking, I don't want to do this anymore, because this is not who I am. I lift weights. I do yoga. I do not do this cardio stuff. My heart and my lungs don't like this. And this doesn't represent me and what I'm looking to do in this world. Why am I even here? Why am I doing this? What do I have to prove? I'm going to let these guys go and do their own thing so that I'm not slowing them down. And so I let everybody know exactly what I was thinking, which I am blessed to be hanging out with some of the nicest people, Darina, Luba, and Johnson, just a great abundance mindset. They said, we'll just all go slower. And now my ego kicked in. I was like, dude, I don't want anybody going slow because of me. You guys go ahead and I'll go a couple more and I'll come back to the truck and we'll be fine. Of course, now this is what good friends do. They start doing what we do in the mentorship in our community in this call every week. They start telling me, well, let's just go to the next one. We're at 3, let's just go to 4. And then, if you're still tired of 4, and by the way, before we go, let's take a little rest. Let's evaluate, let's talk a little bit. Let's have a conversation about what we're experiencing. Look at this view. Isn't this cool? Trick the mind a little bit, get me out of my own head. This is what coaches can do for you. This is what accountability partners can do for you. This is what this community is designed to do for you. And so before you know it, my heart has calmed down. My lungs have gotten back to a normal pace. And we start walking again. We start going up the mountain. And I know logically in my head that every one of these 3 is in much better shape than me. They could run up this mountain, look back, do push-ups at every stop, and then explain to me exactly why their form was so on point and why they're able to run with survive this like camels without having to drink water and all these different aspects, why they're what they've done to get their bodies to where they are. But it won't get my body to where I am or where they are today. Does that make sense? So hanging out with people who are physically more fit than you, even though they can explain it, sometimes it takes just being around to get to the next point. So we get to the next point, and I more adamantly recognize the fact that if we continue babying me, we are not going to have fun as a community, as a group. So I said, look, give me some instructions so I don't die out here, and give me a path, to make sure I'm okay. And then you guys go, and I'll just follow this path and make sure that we connect at some point. And then, maybe one more or two more level 6. I think I'm alone, but one of them, Luba, comes back with the keys to the car. They'd thought about, that. So I would have been going slow, and I'd had I was completely exhausted, by the way. At level 3, I didn't think I was going beyond that. When I got to level 6, I remember thinking, I've done double what I thought I was going to do today, because my intention was never get to the top of the mountain. When I started, I never had the intention to get to the top. They did. Their fixity of purpose was get to the top of the mountain. My fixity of purpose was just be here for my friends. Just be here and allow them to do the things that they want to do in a way that doesn't slow them down, but participate so that they do feel that I care and that I'm taking a part of what they're doing. Does that make sense? 2 totally different goals. Neither one is right or wrong. It's just 2 totally different goals. But my friends brought me along to their goal. They were able to level me up and bring me to what they believe was worthy to do. At the end of it, Johnson made it to the top, or close to the top. Dorina and Luba ended up sticking together, and they got onto the other side of the mountain and very close to the top as well. And I got to level 14, and then I went beyond level 14, up one of the Billy Goat paths, up into the mountain. So I'll call that level 15, when I was dead set on stopping at 3. Does that make sense? Had I been alone, I would have stopped at 3. Shit, had I been alone, I would have taken a picture, a selfie at the bottom, and then been out. That is how I do things I don't want to do. Building your wealth is a lot like this mountain, this passive income mountain that you're building for yourself. There are levels, there are different devils you'll face, and the devils are not external. Although there was a rattlesnake on the path, I did not see it. When Johnson saw, he went further enough ahead. There are some external problems. It did start snowing on the mountain. It did start snowing, middle of nowhere, snow coming down. The mountain was getting wetter. The visibility was almost gone while we were, deep into the top of this mountain. There was extreme heat. There was also extreme cold. There were narrow paths. There were uneven rocks. There were parts where suddenly the road narrowed down to, just a foot wide. And there were parts where you looked down and the ground was all gravelly, and you could slip very easily. So there are external factors as you're climbing the passive income mountain that is your career, that is your life. But it's the ones inside that have the most determinant factor on whether you get there or not. It is the stuff inside your head. How committed are you? Where do you believe you're going? And just deciding, making a decision, being okay with letting all the other paths go. By the way, there were a lot of mountains yesterday. In fact, we even said we were not supposed to be on that mountain. That's the interesting thing. We were supposed to be on a different mountain, but this mountain was closest to us. This mountain had a cool Y on it, and we were there. So we just climbed the one that was in front of us. Does that make sense? In life, you're going to get a lot of options, and a lot of people will wait and wait and wait and say, maybe the next one, maybe the next one, maybe the next one. I'm going to wait for the next deal. I'm going to wait for the next opportunity. I'm going to wait for the next career. I'm going to wait for the next market shift. What if it's this one right in front of you right now? What if your play, what if your investment, what if your purpose is to serve in the way that comes to you today? Whatever fills your mind today, whatever has been filling your mind this week, whatever's been filling your mind this month, write it down. We do an exercise every week. Yes, Hands Camp, we do an exercise every week. Would you like to dive into that now? Let's do it. Fixity of purpose. I'm not going to dive into what your purpose is today. That's another wealth principle. But I do want to dive into fixity of it. I want you to consider the concept and go through this exercise so that after this week, you can move forward powerfully, knowing that you are going up the mountain that is your life and surrounding yourself with the people who will motivate you, who will stay with you, who will support you, who will guide you, and who will hold you accountable to doing your very best on the mountain. I traveled that mountain mostly alone, and so did my friends. After certain points, we split up, we did our own things. But it was the inspiration that they gave me prior to splitting up that kept me going, that kept me moving. In fact, Luba said something wise on the mountain. Duran, do you remember what her quote was?
It's not about you, Walt, it's the people who do it.
It's not about. So Luba looks back at me, and I said, "Look, I don't need to be doing this mountain. I'm okay. I'm gonna just, go slow on this." And she looked back and she said, "Walter, it's not about you. It's about the people who believe in you." And that's why I did the mountain yesterday. The mountain wasn't about me because I'm not even remotely interested in hiking, but it was the fact that my friends believed in me. And I was able to take that thought. I thought about this community. I said, I don't invest or do these trainings because it helps me in any way, because I've already made my money. I've already got passive income streams. I got the relationships to do whatever I want, whenever I want. But because each and every one of you has a path and a journey that you're on, my journey may inspire, my journey may empower. The education that I create may get you to the next level, which I'll continue doing because I have fun with it. Apparently, if I only had 24 hours, by the way, quick snapshot on identifying your fixity of purpose, the reason you do it. If you only had 25 hours to live, how would you spend them? Write it down. What would you do if you only had 25 hours to live? This is a very telling concept. We talked about it yesterday in the Range Rover on our way over here to the Airbnb. If you only had 24 hours left on this planet, you knew you were dying, you knew you were going to be leaving, what would you do? And there is no right and wrong answer. This is your truth. This is you discovering who you are, like what's important to you. What would you do in those last 24 hours? And if you get very clear about what that 24 hours would look like for you, you can start to begin understanding who you are and why you're here. What really is important, because all the other stuff seems to go away. We were having a philosophical conversation about how each one of us has all these options when we're a baby. That's why babies are so cute and beautiful. They can become anything. They have so much potential. Who here has been told they have a lot of potential? Yes. You know what potential is? Potential is a curse. The more potential you have, the less likely you are to do something amazing in life, because you could go down all these potential paths, all these different roads could go somewhere. And most people, when they have many decisions, many options, choose none. So the secret to getting far in life is to just cut some of those roads out and go to the top of your mountain, one mountain. What's interesting, if you go fast enough, far enough, you may get to the top of the mountain and realize you want another one. If you do it early on in life, you can get multiple mountains. Does that make sense? The average millionaire has 7 streams of income, but it always starts with one. And having a fixity of purpose and staying in line. I'm on a mission to build 100 millionaires who are inspired to build 100 millionaires. My focus at all times when an investment opportunity comes my way is, does this build millionaires? And if there's another opportunity that builds more millionaires, I will choose that one first. Which one builds more millionaires faster? And that's how I make my decisions. Without that principle, without that guide, I would have invested more deeply into crypto. I would have invested more deeply into syndications or marijuana stocks or different projects that my friends have brought to me over the years. But I've stayed focused on investing in my personal development as a speaker, as an educator. I've studied NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, hypnosis. I've studied different strategies for building wealth, for business development. I've hired those coaches and I've invested in those businesses that, like Jen Sullivan, right, is somebody who I started a business with where we write books. She ghostwrites books for authors who have the potential to change the world, who have an abundance mindset, who have the capacity to serve more people and teach them how to build wealth. So these are millionaires who are building millionaires. So I want to serve them. That's a business that makes a lot of sense for my business. Does that make, we're getting this? It makes sense for my mission. Same with Mark Dozwa, who will be releasing the Alchemist Leads CRM, which has been coming for a long time. We've been thinking about this for about 2 years, and finally have really picked up momentum in the last 3 months. This CRM will be able to follow up. It will be able to do text messages, emails, Facebook messages, ringless voicemail drops. You'll be able to create landing pages, funnels. You'll be able to track your funnels, do surveys. We'll be able to build out courses. If you're a trainer or coach, you can build out courses right on your platform within Alchemist Leads, and you can build membership sites. So it's a powerful resource for anybody who's looking to get to the next level with this game called real estate investing, or this life of building millionaires. Before I do the tactical steps, I do want to bring somebody up to talk about this week's book of the week. Who has this week's book of the week? Who has it in front of them? Dr. Terry Wager?
No.
And
No.
no?
What's the book?
My screen just went black. So, Dorina, what is this week's book of the week? Mitch Jaworski, what about you, brother?
Man, you know I never know which book we're on. I care about this book right here.
What is it? Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. Who wants it?
Oh, Mitch wants that.
That's a everybody one.
Mitch wants that. He wants.
See what happens when
Mitch.
Mike Shine's not here?
Run it, brother.
He's the keeper of the books for a reason. But he is doing even more important things today. He is celebrating his birthday with his lovely wife, Brenda. So, round of applause for Mike Shine out into the universe. Think and Grow Rich is, I don't want to call it the blueprint, but sort of a book that you should read just like from the start almost. Like we have a foundational 5. Think and Grow Rich, basically, all I can really, I guess, is share what it did for me. So I read this book when I was like 23, 24 years old, which at this point is now 20 years ago. Wow, I almost doubled my age. Anyway, I actually wrote myself a Cliff Notes version of this book back then. And I think we've totally lost Walter. He is frozen. But anyway, I digress.
He's right here. He's coming down.
Anyway, so obviously it has a lot to do with mindset, but it's also creates perspective in terms of like, the lens you use to view the world. So the base fundamental, touches on a lot of things that we do and talk about in terms of, mindset and the way you think. And Think Grow Rich takes it to this base level, really. And it really is that kind of like, what you think about, you bring about, and how, all this stuff we talk about, affirmations and things like that. It really leans into all that. It's just like, think it, believe it, and then essentially burn the bridges. Right. So it's like, if you have a dream, a goal, you need to focus on that and go after that, kind of like there's no other option. So Walter was mentioning earlier how, when you have multiple options, you sometimes feel like you're not getting anything done, or you're not deciding on which way to move forward. That holds true. I actually personally run into that a lot in my life. I'm dealing with it right now with a couple of awesome options in terms of like, next project. And when you have this fixity of purpose on one dream, one goal, one desire, basically that's where all your energy and resources go. And as it says, like, you burn the boats. You don't give yourself an option B and option C. Like, there's no going back. Like, the bridge is burned. Like, you can't walk back over it. Like, you cross that bridge and that's it. We're moving forward. That's our only choice. And it seems super scary, but the reality is when you do that, you succeed more often than not because you have no choice. And I don't know if it might have been Abraham Lincoln that said it. And if not, it's another, historically old president, but he said, when a man or a person has their back to the wall, that is when they're at their most resourceful. Like you're never more resourceful than when you have your back to the wall. And if you think about in your life, anytime you have these moments when your back was kind of to the wall and you had no choice but like to get it done, more often than not, you became more resourceful. You became, more determined. Whatever it is that you needed, whatever that attribute needed to pop up. More aggressive, more anything. I've personally experienced in my life, and I think it holds true. So that is a lot of random different things that book brings to us. But in the end, it's definitely a must read. And if you have not read it, it will definitely give you a different perspective on how to not only chase after your goals, but also just kind of go about your life. So, and that's, as Doug would say, and that's all I have to say about that.
Let's give Mitch Jorsky a round of applause. Every week we have Michael Shine, the keeper of the books, bring our book of the week. He is the holistic attorney, and it is his birthday today. And it was Mitch Jorsky's birthday last week. So let's give these birthday boys a round of applause and send them blessings and thanks for all the books and all the education that they bring us in our community. Alchemist Nation was designed with the tribe mentality. So as we're all going up this mountain together, we can support each other by holding each other accountable, reminding each other what our focus is, reminding each other what our purpose is, and reminding each other to stay focused on doing one thing, serving the world in one way. In fact, me and my business partners and the other strategic partners that I partner with, we're all focused on what is your lane? What is your lane? What is my lane? How do I serve each one of you? And how do you serve in your way our clients, our community, our tribe, the people we're looking to get to the next level? None of us, in fact, some of the coaches have even said, man, like I feel like my product or my program is too close to that coach's product or program. I've got to adjust. How do we separate and create more of a line so that we can more clearly serve more people, bigger volume? That's the secret to a lot of money. How do I serve more people? How do I reach and get to that next level? Passive income is about getting more people into needing what you've got. We do it in real estate through rental properties. I love consumable products. I love monthly payments. Anything that could be required to be paid monthly, like rent, is fantastic. Utility, water, electric, gas, these are some of the biggest companies. Think about the banks, interest, right? Every month that comes in every month. Your goal, your business has to be focused on creating things that have passive income that also are unique to you, like special to you or your business or your structure. So let's dive really quickly. We'll do a quick exercise and I want to open up to questions because part of success is getting the answers that work for you, not just for everybody else, hearing our stuff and our belief of what is the right thing for you. It's sometimes just being able to ask and get your specific questions answered. Like Kim Rodriguez asked earlier about syndications, how to raise private capital, a very specific element to negotiating one of her deals. not even raising private capital. She's actually had to negotiate a deal she already had locked down. This week, Thursday, the 26th, we're going to talk about Get the Money. This is a course for raising private capital. If you do not have money, if you are missing money, but you want passive income, then you are going to have to pay somebody else for their money or create an opportunity for them to get paid for lending you their money. Is that okay if somebody else gets rich while you get rich? And again, if you're committed, willing to help other people make money while you're making money, if that's okay to be part of your purpose. I said at the beginning, you were not born with a purpose. You were born with a capacity and you were born with a desire to have a purpose. As you grow through life, your pain, your lessons, the opportunities you see in the world, create a purpose that you could fit into if you choose to. Just like that mountain was a mountain that I could climb if I chose to stay on the mountain. Does that make sense? At any moment, I could have chosen not to. Every step I took could have been the last step. But there's something that happens to human beings once we start going down a path that we chose. After a little while, we start committing deeper to the path. And we start thinking about how to solve the next problem in front of us. We start getting very clear about resources that are now becoming available, mindset shifts that are becoming available, the grind that we can just put ourselves into that just says left, right, keep going. If we start figuring out how to play with our minds, if I know looking down and looking up is demotivating me, I stop doing that. I just look right down at my feet and I watch the next step and the next step and the next step. And I take some breaths and I look right in front of me at where I'm going. I start noticing how much progress I'm making. I start noticing how far I have come and how much closer it's looking. And I occasionally will look back and say, damn, I've come so far. Those things start becoming available to you once you're on a path, once you're on a set, chosen path. So very quickly, let's do a very quick exercise. I want you to write down what is one thing that you can do that would be able to make you a millionaire, put $1 million net worth in your life and increase your income or increase your net worth. What is one thing that you could do if you just did this one thing would get you there, even if you have to start at the bottom of the mountain, even if you have to start at the middle of the mountain, even if it's, I don't know anything about real estate investing, but I would like to learn. If you already have a business, maybe the business is the better passive income strategy. Maybe it's about building the business up a little higher and then bringing in people who can manage the business for you. Maybe that's how you get your passive income. The mentorship, we talk a lot about these strategies. But before we talk about the mentorship, I want to teach you how to get all the money that is necessary for you to do any deal. So the next step, I want you to write down, if it's something like real estate, how many clients, how many units, how many projects do I have to do in order to get the passive income that I desire? And as you're writing this, keep in mind that $1 million is the bottom. Anybody who's on this call, you must be focused at $1 million, no less. I will not work with somebody. I will not spend time with somebody who has not considered $1 million as the beginning of where they start. Now, it is okay. If you got to start earning, if year one's got to be 100,000, if year two's got to be $250,000, if year three's going to be 500, if year four is going to be $1 million, that's fine. I just want $1 million to be in the mind. That's the mountain we're climbing together as friends. Does that make sense? Right? For some of you, that's just base camp, right? For some of you, that's the bottom of the mountain, right? For some of you, you're going to 10 million. Some of you are going to 100 million. Some of you, like Vinny Chopra, are going to $1 billion or 2 billion, right? Who you hang out with will dictate where you decide you're going to go. But I want to say just at the beginning, this is the first mountain of our journey. If you've never built that $1 million before, let's set that as the goal. Let's set that as the target. You will know you've been helping people by how much you have in the bank, right? If you we have tenants every month pay us rent. I know I'm helping people. That's why my net worth is higher, right? Every single month, tenants are paying us rent because I provided housing, safe housing, clean housing, interesting housing, valuable housing in great locations. And by the way, the locations are getting better, right? The train is coming to the city that we invested in. So in 2023, we now have a train to the city of Boston. It gets better the longer you hold it. I didn't build that train. But most locations all across the country will get better with time. So it is about getting there earlier, right? Emerging markets before somebody else has already blown up that market, being willing to commit, go down that path before somebody else has committed to the market. And for those of you who are looking to learn a little bit more about raising private capital, please don't miss. Please take advantage of, please show up for Get the Money. This is a course I'll be teaching one time this year, and then I will not be teaching it again. Hence the camera, if you recognize what I'm saying. Yes, Get the Money, how to raise private capital is one time this year, just like Be the Bank was one time this year. Be there. These are big opportunities to learn these processes. If you like watching recordings, you don't have to show up. But if you want to be able to ask your questions, if you want to be able to have impact on what is spoken about, solve your own challenges, be it Get the Money. I may be able to get Vinny Chopra to show up to Get the Money. He's very, very serious about building millionaires. He and I text every day, every week about how do we do this? How do we help more people? How do we serve more people? Hence the camera, if it's cool, that millionaires and billionaires want to help get you to the next level. We're climbing the mountain together, ladies and gentlemen. We are going up the mountain. We're going to go regardless of whether you go or not. But if you come with us, we will make sure you get there. We're going to the top anyway. Vinny is going to become a billionaire. It's unstoppable. This is what's happening. But if you hang with us, if you decide you're going with us, we can help you get to where you're looking to go as well. Does that make sense? You don't all have to climb the top of the mountain, but you can climb along and get to where you want to go. You can get the view you're looking for, the perspective in life that you're looking for. If nothing else, if you're not motivated by money, then use this. You don't know what it is to live until you've had $1 million net worth. It will change you as a man or a woman. It will change you as a mother or a father. It will change you as a brother or a sister. It will change you as a son or a daughter. It will make you a better person. You'll be a more understanding person. You'll be a more authentic person. And you will not surround yourself with people who are taking advantage of you anymore. You will now stop putting the wrong people in your life. You'll start putting the right people in life who support you, who care about you, who want to see you do well. You'll find you smile more often. I notice me and Vinny smile a lot. Hands to the camera if you see Vinny Chopra on the camera right now. Awesome. Let's all give Vinny a big round of applause for his mission to build millionaires. Let's give our other celebrity coaches a round of applause for their mission. We got Dr. Terry Wager and Mitch Jorsky's on the call. Ryan McDermott is on the call. These are millionaires who are dedicated to building your wealth. And today we've got a billionaire on the call. Vinny.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm humbled. I'm really humbled. Walter, brother, it's such a pleasure. Actually, my phone is giving me a little trouble this morning, but it's rebooting again. So I'm not walking. Usually I do the miracle walk and for an hour and a half every morning, which I love 7 days a week just to keep my mind right, listen to positive things. We all have to listen to positive things, no matter where you are in your life. You got to take time to listen and align yourself and really be ready to take on the day. See, a lot of times, how many of us get up in the morning and we are dead? Hold on. What did I say? You know what? How many of us get up in the morning and we are not excited about life? That's what the problem is with us. Some of us, not, I should say all of us. But the thing is, we got to be passionate. When you sleep at night, you got to look at your goals. When you wake up in the morning, you got to look at your goals. How many of you saw the goals today? What you want to do? This week, this month, what happened? And you got to put it in one page. I really believe in that. I don't believe in thesis. I don't believe in 10 pages, 15 pages, 20 pages. It's not there. It's not there. We can only focus on one thing in life. One thing. That's why the books are written. That's why all these things happen in our life, because we are focused. And that's what we are talking about today. You got to have a single-minded focus.
Let's give Vinny Chopra a round of applause.
No, I don't deserve it. But the thing is, you got to see where you're going and how committed are you to that purpose. Because many times we write down so many goals, and dreams become realities. Dream become goal when you put deadlines. So what is your goal and what's your deadline to accomplish it? So that's the number one thing. We all have the same amount of time, but what do we do with the time will determine your journey. And success is what? Success is a journey. It's never a destination. It's never a destination. But the thing is, you got to figure it out. Okay, did I have a great day yesterday? If I did not, why not? See, we got to hold ourselves accountable for the time we spent in 80% of all this roughness and all this noise, or we spend 20% of the concentrated time to get 80% of the result.
I love it.
See, it's so important that we do the right activities to get the 80% of the result. You got to only do, 1 hour of a day talking to the clients, talking to the broker, wherever you are, whatever business you have. Just like Walter said, I remember distinctly, I can take my glasses off. It's not that sunny over here. Actually, I'm not walking, but hopefully next time when I come, my phone is giving me, but never stop. You figure out a way. You figure out a way. So I wanted to be with y'all. But the thing is, you got to serve people. The mountain, the millionaire. I mean, I remember the time when I was not a millionaire, right? And I didn't feel I was deserving of it. So how many of you feel that way also? Am I deserving? See, if we don't really make our mind, adjust our mind, and bring all the positiveness and read about the people who are millionaires and what do they do. See, you gotta, and God, you come here for 1 hour, 2 hours, but the thing is, you got to be on that mission. I mean, that's what is going to get you to the next level. You can't just wait to get up here on Saturday, but it's got to be every moment that you're living. You got to say, I'm going to push myself to do the things that millionaires do. What's success? Success is only doing the things that successful people do in life. Unsuccessful people have a lot of great habits, but they're bad habits. What did I say right now? Unsuccessful people like to do the things that successful people don't like to do. And we are moving to the 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million, billion, whatever it is. But you got to really be in that frame of mind. And who's going to push you to that frame of mind? Not Walter, not Terry, right? Not Kimberly, it's going to be us, me. I am the CEO of my life.
I love
Only
it.
person who can make a big difference in our life, that is the key. We are the CEO of our life. What we do with our business, hold on, business is separate, but we are the company, our body, our mind, our soul. So what are we doing with us?
And Vinny, I want to open it up to everybody. Hands again if you're getting some value from Vinny. If this is helpful to you. Awesome. So we go till about 11 o'clock. We aim to keep this as efficient as we can.
Yes.
So we've got about 12 minutes left, and I want to open it up to questions. Now, obviously,
Sure.
like I've said, the people who don't ask questions miss out on opportunities and are not taking action. The people who do ask questions get answers. This is an opportunity to ask a billionaire. By the way, he'll be a billionaire
Not
within
yet.
the next year or two. I already see it for you, Vinny. I already see it for you, brother.
It's exciting. It's very exciting what's happening in life. But the thing is, you got to get on that locomotive, right? The locomotive of success needs to leave the station, I call it. It takes a lot of effort to get the locomotive moving. But once you are on the rail, it takes less effort. And yeah, there we go. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, brother. That's so important. I mean, you got to manifest what you want so strongly that everybody around you comes and joins hands with you. That's what has happened in my life. That's all it's all about. Law of attraction, secret. I hope everybody listening just go to Google and watch the video, The Power of Manifestation, The Secret, the book, Rhonda Burns. It is actually 1933. Also, a lot of concepts were written. What? 1933. She came back and she wrote the book, The Secret, and now there is a movie on it. I hope everybody watches it. Because that's going to make you so strong in your believability of what you are thinking. It's going to manifest.
And I want to clarify with everybody. So we know the law of attraction works. Hands to camp if you agree. Law of attraction works. Yes.
It works.
The challenge with most people is they don't dial in clarity on one thing. They don't get that fixity of their purpose. And they try to ask the universe for everything all at the same time. And they end up not believing in themselves and not getting it. This week's wealth principle is deep. This is an important principle to implement. The steps are that you choose one thing. The steps truly are this week. The exercise is choose one thing that you're going to work towards that will make you a millionaire, a billionaire, whatever your goal is. Just get you that $10,000 of passive income a month if that's your first goal. Next week, wealth principle 17 is offer high ticket items or deal in high volume sales or both. Next week is an income week, an income principle. Wealth principle 17, I will be teaching you how to choose whether you invest in or sell high ticket items or deal with high volume sales or both. We're going to talk a little bit about how to choose that item. I won't go into deep detail, although we do that in the mentorship and other programs that we have available, which I will be releasing a very cool product that me and Vinny have been working on building over the last couple of weeks together. Get the money. Hands to camera, if you know, I only sell the greatest products. I only sell products that are worth buying.
That's right.
Hands to camera, if you know, I only hang with the greatest coaches, trainers, mentors on the planet that have abundance mindset. So if I partner with somebody, it's the right thing for everybody in our community. So me and Vinny have put together a phenomenal, more powerful than ever, high powered course training and system to help people raise capital, get all the money. So get the money. We're going to tease it out. We'll talk about it. Get the money. You have the opportunity to buy it, but get the money will teach you how to raise private capital. That's link in the bio, or go to getthemoney.alchemiststation.com. I see Thurbin James has put his hand up. So let's give Thurbin a round of applause. Unmute the mic. Ask us questions, brother. You got me, Terry, Vinny Chopra's hanging out for a few more minutes. I see he's committed to us. Ryan McDermott is here.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me again. So with everything, so my question was kind of general, but I'm just making a few assumptions here. I'm assuming that you've taken the step to surround yourself with awesome people like yourself. You're taking those small actions from your starting point. And so with me, it's like, what should I expect with the journey of my purpose? Like, so I know I've decided on what industry, what I want to do to make the money, like to make the millions. I've decided like who I'm going to be hanging around, but I don't have like the full picture of this is my purpose, like what should I expect with like, I guess the timeline with that, and like what expectations I guess I should have with myself as I'm going on up the mountain.
I'm going to give you something interesting, and I'll open up to the other coaches. Just decide, my friend. There is no right or wrong. Just make sure it doesn't hurt anybody. Whatever your purpose is, has to help people. It has to make you feel good, but just decide. There is no shortcut to this. You have to just wake up one day and this is what I do. And that today can be today. You can decide today.
Okay.
Go ahead.
One of the things that I would suggest is look at all of the things you've done and look at the thread through which everything you've done is the feeding pieces of what you do, because we think that it's a journey for why. I'm going to go find it. It's inside you, and everything you've done has been connected to it already, and it is inside of you. But you have to look back in the different things you've done and what actually fed you, what actually fired you up. And that will give you a lot of clues on what you're supposed to be doing to fire you up.
So true, Terry. I think again, we did talk about. Oh, can you hear me? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Like the thing is, we will progress in our life by solving problems, right? So you got to find out what's the situation. Your business will grow when you are able to look at the avatar. I call it avatar. Who is the person or people that you're going to be helping with a big ticket item. We talked about that, right? I mean, there is small way to do it. There is big way to do it. But you got to figure out what you feel comfortable, where you have been, just like Terry said, where you have come from, because you won't change overnight. But you got to tweak and single-mindedly say, this is what I want my life to become in the future and now and everything. But who are the people I'm serving? Because you could write down as big game plan as you want. But if you don't keep the people you serve in it, that game plan has no meaning to it. No meaning to it. Literally, no meaning to it.
Urban, is that helpful?
Yeah, absolutely. It was just.
Can I jump in, Walter?
I'm
Yes,
sorry.
go ahead. Let's
I
give
jump in?
Urban a round of applause. It's a great question. And Doug McGurk's jumping on the call. Go ahead, Doug.
Yeah. So I agree with everyone. And one thing, another way to start picking out at that is think to yourself, and it's a longer process, but I'm just giving you a little teaser as to what would happen if you don't achieve that outcome. How's that going to impact your life? And that's going to start picking away at why it's important to you, and you'll be able to uncover like what's deepest to you, like what pain are you going to feel if you don't make this happen? Who's going to be impacted? Who's going to be affected?
Yes.
And that's going to help uncover another angle through which, like, backdoor your purpose.
You know, I'm so glad you said that. Tony Robbins, right? Great coach, Tony Robbins. He always talks about pleasure and pain and the leverage behind it. They said, if you write down what's painful, if you don't really get to a single purpose and help people and, move yourself in the right direction, the pain will get you to the right direction with the leverage. And you got to be totally hating not to have the pain and move towards the pleasure, right? So thank you. Yeah, no, that's so true.
So Vinny Chopra. So Doug McGurk actually trained with Tony Robbins. He trained Tony Robbins' audience for 3 years. He was on tour with Tony, and he was one of Tony's top speakers for 3 years. So that explains a lot.
Oh, brother Doug. Also in my life is Luke Wren, Luke.
Oh yeah,
Luke Wren.
Luke Ross.
My God.
I think I brought Luke to his first UPW.
Oh my God, he's my brother. I mean, from different mother. We had this together in
Luke's
Sarasota. And Luke and Rebecca are in the Mount Everest right now in Nepal, climbing the mountain, Mount Everest. God
we
bless.
got to talk offline. I'm sure there's a lot.
We should. Oh my gosh.
I'll make sure I connect you guys. By the way, let's give Vinny and Doug a round of applause for just connecting. Two powerful mindsets connecting with each other. Let's give Dr. Terry Wager a round of applause. Great feedback. I like it. I see Sandra Scroy has unmuted her mic and got her hand up. Sandra.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Hi.
Hi.
So I have a comment, but I also have a question, and I was just wondering which one you would want first.
Go ahead.
Both.
Turn them together.
Okay, so Think and Grow Rich. Read it every year, at least once, if not twice a year. You don't fully get the impact until 3 times you read it. But I think one of my favorite quotes from it is, with every failure brings with it an equal seed of opportunity, if not greater. So I just wanted to point that out because it's a great, I don't know, it keeps you going. There's more.
Let's give Sandra Scroy a round of applause. She's already added value to us today.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
Awesome. What is your question?
And so my question is, because it's, always work with the best and all that jazz. But you said once, you become a millionaire, your life changes, the people around you, things you don't put up with anymore. But what was the shift with the people around you in your life that, you weren't getting exactly the results you were, but what was that shift or the next standards that made the shift from kind of the rat race to more of a prosperity kind of you know, raising, I guess you could say, the temperature of, or the just the standard of the, as Walter was saying, because he was hiking, like the level of the altitude of where you were. I think that is my question.
Vinny, if you want, you
If
can
I
take
may,
this one.
if I may answer, see, the thing is, Sandra, it's not going to be abrupt. Nothing happens abruptly. So you will be the same person, but you're going to be sending vibes to your friends and everybody. They're going to see this gradual change. So change happens gradually. You know, we will not become millionaire overnight. It's going to be gradual, getting into that, you know, the whole frame. You will be actually doubting yourself. You will be also seeing other people look at you and say, oh my gosh, I see a change in Sandra. So it's not going to be like this step and then this step, right? It's going to be gradual. That's how it comes to my mind. And you will feel good. You will know that when you're accomplishing and helping more people, I'm just saying again in the context of the business, but as a person, you will grow. You will be happier. You'll be smiling. You'll be more focused. People will see, look around you. They say, you know what, Sandra, you're changing. So it's gradual.
I think
Yeah.
I think as Vinny was saying, it's gradual. And what my experience has been, you know, because where I came from, alcoholic, changing my life, the people that didn't fit in the way I was seeing things anymore started to fade away one at a time. And as I would let the changes happen, my doorway would open up to newer people that were more where I was. And as I continued to grow and change and develop different interests, I would meet and connect with other people. And I think that this is really a very, very good example of how it happens. Is like, I don't know if everybody was here. I'm pretty sure that everybody wasn't here in 2020 when we started this thing. Walter started this thing, but you know, Walter was doing this thing live, and then we went to video, and then he invited me to go and do this with him and invited the other coaches as we came. Now Vinny's here, and each person has shown up as it starts to spark our curiosity. Meanwhile, other things kind of disappear because we lose interest in them as we focus more on what we're looking for and what we're looking to do. Same things happen with you as you move into sculpture. Painting wasn't as important as sculpture was to you. You still like it, you still can do it, but it just wasn't getting that energy going for you the same way sculpture was. And it happens with people too.
I'll say to that point, we've been working to build millionaires for almost 3 years. We're in year 3 right now. We're 2.5 years into building millionaires, and we've leveled up our game. It didn't start off with a mentorship. We didn't even include a mentorship before. We didn't know what was involved. Now we're at a point where we're bringing on mentors to fulfill our mentorship. We've got men and women who have become millionaires through our program, through relationships with us, through real estate, through different avenues, who are now saying, look, I love what you're doing. I love this whole, you're building 100 millionaires, but I also want to build 100 millionaires. I also want to be a part of this. How can I support? How can I serve? And I want to give a very special thanks to all of the mentors, the millionaires who have come through the mentorship, who have come through the program, and who are paying it forward. So let's give them a big round of applause right now. Everybody who's paying it forward, who's come through, for those who we have already spoken to, for those who we haven't spoken to. Have a conversation with Dorina this week, not until Wednesday, because we're still here in Utah doing a spiritual journey. But let's have a conversation. If you know you're close to becoming a millionaire, or you already are and you're saying, yes, I want to pay it forward. I want to help you guys. I want to support you and support this community as we continue to grow. And as me and Vinny and Terry and Ryan and Mitch and Doug and our other millionaire coaches, the celebrity coaches who've written the books, who are putting it out there, are focused on higher leverage points of bringing more people into the community and creating better programs. We're going to need our mentors to step up and be able to answer questions.
Hello, G.
Sorry, I'm going to mute you, brother. Thank you. He always picks up the phone for his millionaire friends. Does that make sense? He's got 430 millionaires and multimillionaires on his phone who he helps invest in deals that he does. So the mentors, we're going to be providing you guys an opportunity and asking you if you can answer questions on Alchemist Nation. If somebody reaches out to you and asks you, hey, can you look at this deal? And I'm going to be doing a training. I'm going to create a training with Doug McGurk called the Mentor Mind, which Doug's already worked out to teach our mentors how to mentor but not lose time. We want you to have impact and be impactful and serve and be able to do this, because I know we all want to do it from the heart place, but we also want you to be able to get compensated for doing it. There is, the opportunity to get paid for being a mentor, and I think it's very important that people who are paying for mentorship understand the value of the mentor's time. A mentor is somebody who's still doing deals. They're busy people, and their time is valuable. So we do want to make sure that there's a way for them to get compensated. Hence the camera, if it's okay, that we allow our mentors to get paid for mentorship. Awesome. Thank you for understanding. Here's something before we go. By the way, more questions, we can answer them all on alchemiststation.com. If we don't answer your questions during this live call, go to alchemiststation.com. We'll answer your questions there. I know Ryan McDermott is still on the call. Mitch Jaworski is on the call. I'd like to get some of their feedback on Wealth Principle 16, since you guys are still here and Ryan is not playing soccer. So go ahead, Ryan. And then Mitch, you're up. Our two rappers.
You want me to go?
Yeah, man.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, great lesson. Yeah, love the Fixity of Purpose and Think and Grow Rich. It's kind of fortuitous that Walter and Dorina are in Utah, just because in Utah about a month ago. And the really interesting thing about Utah, as you learned from Walter, is that it's very mountainous. But the even more interesting thing is that while you're in the mountains, you're also in the desert. And it's the thing that I kind of picked up while I was kind of hiking, all the different national parks out in Utah was the juniper tree. If anybody knows what a juniper tree is, it's it's a tree that grows kind of uniquely in the desert, and it doesn't necessarily look like the fanciest looking tree, but these trees are like hundreds of years old, yet they reside and live in the desert. And when I asked the guy that was taking us around, like how this is even possible, he basically explained that the juniper tree has an incredible fixity of purpose. Its purpose is to grow as a tree. That's what a tree's purpose is. And they focus on one thing, and it's getting water to the tree. And their roots grow hundreds of feet into the ground. They crush through rock to find water anywhere it could find it to grow. And they also, you'll notice if you look at a juniper tree, sometimes it looks like it's dying because they self-prune their branches that aren't focused on the purpose of survival and growth. And that's so we have to do that in our businesses sometimes. We get too focused on all doing all kinds of different things. I know I've just did that in my business. I shed something that was not helping the greater cause. And that's exactly what a juniper tree does. It sheds those branches that aren't focused on the cause. So I think the whole point, fixing your purpose is to, decide what the goal is, stay focused on it, make your actions focused on it, be a juniper tree. Thanks.
Let's give Ryan McDermott a round of applause. Dig deep, go strong, go for the goal. Water, right? As a plant, you need water. For us, we need purpose. As human beings, we require purpose. Go deep with your purpose. Build the purpose. Go deeper with it and continue until accomplished, until you've gotten what you're looking for. And if you have to add different purposes, go ahead. Add them over time. Don't start with multiple. Start with one. Run it deep until you get accomplishment. And it becomes easier to take on other ones. Mitch Jaworski, you're up.
Ryan just mic dropped it, at least for me, because I literally said to myself, I need to shed some branches, because it's so true. I mean, and it goes back to the fixity of purpose. So, I mean, I have I'm blessed that I have multiple options going forward. And, you know, it's slowing me down also, because finding that one that is the purpose, the passion, you know, going forward for these next few years, like, all right, figure it out, move forward, because otherwise you end up spinning your wheels because you have all these different options. So you got to shed those branches. That analogy was so money. And at this point, I'm just sitting here being a receiver. I hope everyone else got out of that what I did. And my 2 cents is I agree with everything Ryan just said, and it's a really good way to look at it. I'd actually like to hear what Dr. Terry's got to say about this topic.
Well, thank you, Mitch. I honestly agree with Ryan and Mitch. I think that we all kind of have that same point of view. We hang out a lot together. So, and Doug and Heidi were talking about this at Mission to Millions all week. And the story that comes to mind for me is the sculptor, Sandra, who comes to a block of marble, and the sculptor is removing everything that isn't the thing that is the sculpture. And so it's not about trying to put stuff in and trying to figure out how to put more stuff in. And that's what entrepreneurs do. Whenever they get stressed out, they buy new equipment, they buy new software, they buy new coaches. They just keep putting more and more in, and they don't do a whole lot of pruning, and they don't do a whole lot of chiseling away what's not working. And what we really want to do is we want to start looking at what's working, but what's not working, and start removing some of the things that aren't working until we have that one path, that one track moving forward. And that's what we here at Generator talk about, is getting on one track, the bullet train, getting rid of all of the stuff on the track. And so I have mixed like 3 metaphors here. And so they all work together for the greater good of, it is one thing. You want to move forward, and you want to get rid of the stuff that's in your way by pruning, by chiseling away, so you can move forward faster.
And I think Doug is still on the call. Doug McGurk, are you there? If you are, can you drop your knowledge on Fixity of Purpose? Since you did run
back here
Mission to Millions with your beautiful wife Heidi.
Here, so yeah, the what Ryan shared was brilliant. I forget the name of the book, but it was something about a rose bush, and it was a similar thing about like pruning the rose bush on how to create, like, to get the best flowers. You need to prune the stuff that's getting in the way, you know, and Terry's metaphor about, you know, being on that one track. And what Mitch was saying as well, and is the idea, and Walter, you touched upon it, about us, the potential curse of potential, where if we have too many options, we don't know, you know, confused mind says no. And I think one of the best sayings, I forget who said it, but it might have been Napoleon Hill, you don't have to get it right. You just have to get it going. And once we start taking action, we'll find a way, but we're going to be relishing the joys of the progress of the accomplishments, those little confidence builders. And that will touch on what Sandra brought up, is that the idea that it's one day we're going to wake up and be like, oh, we've arrived, as opposed to just focusing on our one opportunity, be present in the one moment. And I guess the last metaphor for that I'll give you, as far as fixity of purpose, is presence. Have you ever been in a conversation with someone while they're texting, or while they're, like, you know, reading an email or watching television or something like that? You go, hey, pay attention. Well, the universe, our goals kind of experience the same thing. Like, when we're working on whatever it is, be so present, so on point, that we will be able to get that done effortlessly and gracefully. And then it's the now moment. And then we can move on if there's something else that happens next. Like Walter shared earlier, you know, millionaires have multiple streams of income, but you got to start with one. And then you move from there. But it's all about being present, because even those, when they're in that moment, whatever that stream of income is, they're fully focused, fully present, and then move on to the next. And that's all I have to say about that.
Let's give Doug McGurk, Ryan McDermott, Dr. Terry Wager, Mitch Jorsky, and Vinny is already off the call, but let's give all of our celebrity coaches a round of applause who have written books, who have taken the time, built courses, built programs, studied how this works, how to build you and get you to the next level, who have made the adjustments in their own businesses, their own careers that they're now showing you how to do. Remember, Wealth Principles 16, develop a fixity of your purpose, was not about identifying your purpose. We did do a quick little exercise if you hadn't identified your purpose up to this point. The message behind this principle was develop fixity of your purpose, commitment, decision to go forward. If you don't have a big, powerful, meaningful purpose to this day, I don't care. Pick whatever you've got. Run with whatever you've got. You will not have a greater purpose if you wait. Does that make sense? You will have to identify it as we go. It'll have to build out as you go. If you do not have any idea what your purpose is right now, you have no clue what your purpose is, take mine on. If you need to borrow somebody's for a little while, build 100 millionaires. Go out and serve in a bigger way. If you don't have any clue what you should be doing on this planet, trust me, mine will work for you too. Does that make sense? When you outgrow it, put yours on. You deserve it. But for right now, you don't need no more decision making goes on. Choose your purpose. Today, we stick to a fixity. Moving forward, everything else that we do, we run with our purpose. We're going to be talking about getting the money. Hands down, if you ever heard somebody say money was kind of an issue, it was the reason they didn't buy more property or get more passive income. Yes. We're going to talk about the money, the 26th. That's this Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be discussing for about 2-3 hours a workshop on how to raise private capital. If you've ever said, I don't have the money to do this deal, I don't have the money to buy this business, I don't have the money to go and get my passive income, I'm going to wipe out, obliterate that thought from your head. You will never say it again from now on. After the 26th, after get the money, you will then say, I've got the money to do the deal. I'm not doing it because I don't want to, which will be the truth. Does that make sense? Excellent. Get the money is $97. You can tell me you don't like how glistening my head is. You can tell me you don't like the way I trimmed my beard or the gap in my teeth, but do not tell me you don't have $97 to pay to learn how to get all of the money. And if I don't deliver on what I've promised, if I don't teach you how to raise private capital, I will give you your money back. Without, I don't care. It's $97. Not going to get rich that way. Does that make sense? We grasp this? Excellent. But if you do show up and you do take notes and you do decide that you want to raise private capital, I will show you a process to make sure that it works for you. I will make sure that we stick with you through the process. And if you get great deals and you still stumble and you're still having some issues, there is a mentorship if you find that you're not making the right decisions or you're not moving fast enough. We can talk about that. And I'll share a little bit about that on the 26th. I Get the Money. Take the action now. There's a link in my bio on Facebook. There's a link in my bio on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, you name it. Or you can go to the link right here in the chat that says getthemoney.alchemistnation.com. Click the link. If you've taken Get the Money 2 years ago or at one of the smaller events, this is different. This is a little bigger. This is the original course that Ron and I wrote back in 2018. That teaches people how to raise private capital. That will actually show you the process so that you can do it yourself. Hands to the camera, if that's something you know is going to be valuable for you, then do what it takes to reach your purpose. By the way, I need you to do this work right now. This fixity of purpose thing has to happen today, because in order to raise capital, you have to know why you're raising capital. Does that make sense? In order for me to help you put money in your pocket, you need to know why you're doing it. I can't raise capital if somebody can't explain why I should give them my money. Hands down if you get that. Awesome. I will teach you how to say things. I will teach you how to sell your purpose, how to sell your mission, how to sell your vision. but I need you to have a fixity of purpose before Thursday. That's why I'm saying today is the cutoff date. Do not let sleep come upon you without making a decision on who you are and what you're going to do for the next 3 years. Hands can, if you recognize it's a lot of work to make decisions. Most people can't do it. Most people are afraid to decide who they are. Most people are afraid to commit to what they're going to be. Most people are afraid to just stay in one thing for a year or 2 or 3 years to become successful, to make that $1 million. And that's why they never have $1 million. We're catching this? All I'm asking is one commitment, right? I'm not saying let's get married. I'm just saying let's date for the next 2 to 3 years until we get to where you're looking to go. Right? Next Saturday, I'm going to teach you how to make big money through a high volume item or a high ticket item. You need to learn how to increase income. You need to learn sales no matter where you're at in the game so that you can have a little more money to go put into passive investments. Does that make sense? This is necessary training. We did training this week for all of our mentorship students. It was a last minute emergency call meeting that we brought everybody together because the market was kind of in crisis. We saw the stock market tanking, crypto market tanking. And I said, out of concern for the community, I've got to jump in and just make sure everybody knows what's going on. There is one skill that beats all market changes. One talent, one thing that you have to know that can change your life no matter what the market does. It goes up, goes sideways, goes down, and that is sales. If you know how to sell, if you know how to identify a quality product and then bring it to the people who need it, if you know how to identify and create a surplus of a quality product that people have a lack of, you can make millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. Sales is necessary for real estate investing. It is the core component to how you get the money to invest in your deals. It is the core component to how you find your deals. It is the core component to how you get your team of laborers to like you enough to do the right things in the projects that you're looking to do. Sales is real estate. If you're looking to make more money, you must understand sales. So we're going to be talking a lot about sales, and I'm looking for sales trainers to put some free courses on Alchemist Nation so that I don't have to do it. But if I don't see somebody show up in the sales arena, I will go and create those trainings myself. Does that make sense? So coaches, mentors, if you know somebody, if you know a great salesperson and you want to set up a call with me this week, I can put them on Alchemist Nation, get them promoted and building their courses out there. But I just want to say a special thanks to each one of you, the 64 who have hung with us this long. I know we were a little late, a little longer than we usually go. I see your success. I know what you're capable of because you showed up, because you're here every single week, because you're moving towards the same goal that I see for you, which starts with the first million and then builds on to the next million. The first million's a bitch. I know it. I've been there. But the second million's inevitable. So cheers to your success. We have a choice. Always work with the best. See you guys in the next one. One more round of applause for our celebrity coaches. Thank you guys for all the time you dedicate to this community. And one
Round of applause for
all of our
Walter
mentors.
Amarello and making it up the mountain.
I'm not falling off.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, what?
Cheers to your success.
Cheers to climbing. Climbing.
To the next mountain.
The best. Wait, what?
Always work with the best.
The best.
And thank you, Kim, for mentoring all of our people. I really appreciate what you're doing. And Lee, I love that shirt. Rocking it, girl. Hell yeah. Mission to millions.
Boop.
Cheers, guys. See you on the next one. Go to get the money. Click the link. Share, like, subscribe. I'll see you. Later, Mark. Great job on the CRM, brother. Release
Thank
coming
you.
soon.
Thursday.
5 days away.
Yes.
Good seeing you, George. OG, man. One of the originals. Later, Alan.